Good evening, and how's everyone doing tonight? This is Alan. I am with Press Play Streaming Studios. Welcome to Movie Chat. Tonight, we're going to have a fun one. We're going to be talking about the new Marvel release, Shang-Chi. Fantastic film. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. Just so you know how the layout of the night goes, I'll bring my guests in. I'm going to turn the microphone over to them. We'll have some casual conversation. We do have a tendency to fall off the rails from time to time, but that's okay. That's what we like. It's got to be organic and fun and ready to go. So I'm going to bring in my most common guest. She's with us all the time. Depending on what alias she's using tonight, it seems that we are going to be. Well, hello, General Chanobi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. So it's either Chantal or it's Shanti or it's General Shanobi, which I actually kind of like General
Me
Shanobi.
too. I think that's something to stick with.
And if Jax happens to join us tonight, that's even better. That would be fantastic.
He's
And
here.
then-
He's just sleeping.
yeah, such a cutie. And then our other nerd friend is going to join us is Zori. Hi, Zori. How are you tonight?
Hi, I'm excellent.
Hi, sorry.
I don't know
I'm
who
so
has
excellent.
more. I don't know who has more aliases around here, Zori. You or General Shinobi.
I say I have enough personalities for all of them. They could just.
This is true.
Well, if we were counting personalities, I'd be way out. So we've got a bunch of people already joining the chat. Oh, Josh, Mr. Sith Care right here.
Hey, Josh.
Oh, my
Hey,
adorable
Rachel.
little cinnamon roll.
You guys, hey, listen. This is not Rachel's stream, so be good. we try to keep it at least PG-13 around
No
here.
promises.
Rachel's
Hey,
here.
Mar.
She's going to jump
Mark,
in and
hey,
out.
Rachel. Oh, how's
Mara's
this
here. So we're having a good time. We've all got our drinks and we're ready to go. So real quick, some housekeeping. If you close the live chat and look just to the left, it literally takes one of these and one of these to hit that thumbs up. That's what all the cool kids do. All the cool kids hit the thumbs up button. And then right next to that, of course, you've got your subscribe button. So if you're not a member of the channel, please subscribe and hit that bell notification. That really does help us. Leave a comment. That would be fantastic. I will say this, and I've said this from the beginning. If you leave a comment that's positive, we love it. If you leave one that's negative, then that helps us grow. So whatever your opinion happens to be, share it with the group. Also, in the comments is how you reach both General Shinobi and Zori through Twitter. And also, if you dug that hard rockin' music that was used as our intro, that is Mr. Adam McLean. His website is also in the comments. He would love for you to take a listen to his music and just reach out and let him know what you think. So, just a couple of friends helping each other out, and I appreciate it. So that being said, Shang-Chi, it is my understanding, ladies, and I hope that my numbers are correct, that this film took approximately $150 million to make. How do you think it did on its first weekend?
Oh, we know.
Labor Day.
Yeah.
We know.
It did well.
We know.
Throw the numbers at me. What'd they do on the opening weekend?
Was it at 90?
You got the.
Was it 90?
97?
8?
94, 97?
Can't remember
It was
now.
94 million, and that was only domestic. That blew the Labor Day weekend record out the window. And according to Rachel from Rebel Roses, a big portion of that was used on hair product. the escape pods in the night. Nice of you guys to be able to join us. We appreciate it.
Hey guys,
he's here and part of the problem. I love it. I love it. So, second weekend, we did have a pretty major drop off. Second weekend, instead of the 94, it dropped down to 35 mil, which sounds bad.
Yeah.
But when you consider the Black Widow dropped 78% in its first week, Shang-Chi's doing very, very well for itself.
Yes,
we're looking at a worldwide, as of last weekend, of $257 million, and that's just the weekend count. So, yay, Marvel, good for you. So it seems to me that and I'm putting this in quotes, their experiment of the 45-day window before doing the dual release is working for them. What do you ladies think?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. I would agree.
I mean,
I would
they already
absolutely agree.
yeah, and they already decided that they're going to do the same thing with Eternals after what they saw here. So
Yep.
it's going to get the same treatment.
And I'll be
Has it
honest with
been
you,
released in China yet? I'm sorry. I mean,
it
has
has
been
not
released in China?
actually, and
I
that's
don't
the thing.
think so.
That's the thing that's
Yeah.
most impressive is that China is the second largest market in the world, and this movie has not been been released there. And the reason it hasn't been released is there's several things going on. Okay, so just a little education in case you didn't know, or people who are listening now or what have you. They only allow so many movies from the U.S. to come in there because they're so tightly controlled.
Right.
And then there was also rumors that our lead, and we're talking years and years ago, was talking about the reason his parents left China in the first place and wasn't very complimentary.
Yeah, I did read that.
To the government, and so
Yeah.
and they don't forget easily. So that's probably why it's not there yet. I would love it if to see what it would do
Me too.
numbers wise had it been. But the fact that it is only really 2 weeks in and it's already made almost double its budget back without that market, I consider that a win.
Me too.
You too. All right. So I need to let everyone in the chat know before I let these two loose because they're like they're like horses in the gate for at the Kentucky Derby. They're like
We're like pulling to get out.
Let me go.
We're ready.
There are going to be some points tonight that I'm going to play devil's advocate because I loved this movie as well. But just for conversation purposes, I may say, all right, this is the point, and I'm going to just start talking against your point to make you kind of convince us. Well, to instigate, but to make you convince the people on why they should press play on this one versus walking away. Does that sound like a fair assessment?
Yes.
Yes.
Who wants to go first? No spoilers at first, please. High end view.
Oh God.
How the hell are we going to
do
do
that?
Okay, let's do it. You go first. You go first, Chantal.
I don't know, man.
So,
well, first of all,
okay, go ahead.
I think I've already said this like about 1,000 times. I feel like such a broken record. We've had 13 years worth now, because I did the math, of Marvel movies, starting from Iron Man up to here, right? Okay.
Yes.
And for other reasons, okay, I used to be one that would be very willing to watch movies multiple times in theaters. I have no problem with spending the money. That's, one of the things that I really don't care about pissing money away on is the movie theater. But things happen, you get older, whatever. I really never really watched any of the Marvel movies multiple times. And honestly, I don't think I even saw every single Marvel movie in the theater either. This has been the one movie that I have actually seen more than once, and I plan on seeing it a third time this weekend, honestly. I really, really love this story. There is something that is Marvel about it and not Marvel about it at the same time. And that's why I like it.
Yep.
Hello there, Belle Zora. Thank you for joining us.
Zora.
All right, Zori, she gave her high end. You give me yours.
Okay, I knew absolutely nothing going into this movie. I didn't know really what to expect other than the trailer. I would say I would agree with Chantal in the fact that I've probably never watched any of the Marvel movies more than once in the theater, and like her, I didn't see them all in the theater. I've seen a lot of them, but not all. And I went twice to see this one. And I honestly would say that you can watch this movie and not think that it's just a Marvel movie. Like, sure, it's got its Marvel formulas that I love, but it's such beyond that. To me, it goes above and beyond that. And the story, the just how beautiful it looked. It's just, I love it. I just love it. I can't even, I don't even have the words to really say it. But to me, if you think you don't like Marvel movies, you should go watch this movie. Because I think they could change your mind.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with both of you. First of all, let me say this real quick. Belle Zora, definitely if you're driving, be careful. Get home first. Let us know when you get home and that everything's safe, because we don't want you texting and driving. Okay.
Please. We're not worth it.
So
No, don't text and drive.
social announcement. Please don't text and drive. We
Thank
like
you.
you, and we
Yes,
want
Josh, it
you.
was a beautiful film.
It
We
is a
want you
beautiful
to be
film.
back with us on the live stream
Mhm.
again. She did such a great job last week. I
She
thought,
did.
just so y'all know. Yeah, I agree. I think this movie was extremely visually beautiful.
Mhm.
I'm going to try not to go down a rabbit hole, although it's going to happen. Um, I okay. I am a fan. I am a fan of wuxia. Right. I'm a
Mhm.
fan of kung fu films
Mhm.
and wuxia films. They're two different things.
Right.
And so to give you a prime example of what a wuxia film is if you saw Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where there's a lot of wire work, very supernatural and feel, that is wuxia.
Mhm.
And what has happened is, and we can thank kung fu movies and wuxia films for giving us all of our superhero films today. Josh Irwin, thank you for joining the chat. Both, I, the Joshes
Josh
are
wanted
back.
to.
Josh says even his wife loved it.
Wow.
Um, let's see here. Even my wife loved it. She usually doesn't go into the martial arts style film, and
Hmm.
that's where I was going on this. Is that um, uh, what over the years, the whole wire work thing has been truly expanded upon. And we have kung fu and wuxia films to thank for that. And then as they expanded, and instead of taking all fantasy, they started using realism in the wire work as well. So you get that little extended on the jump, and especially like in Star Wars, especially in the prequels, you saw a lot of that type of thing. And we have those movies to thank for that. And I'll say this: I've said it to everybody who'll listen. Um, House of Flying Daggers
Mhm.
is one that if you have not seen it, you need to, because it is not a movie, it is a film. It is a spectacle to see, even if you don't like martial arts films. It
Mhm.
is so beautiful. And this movie took tons of cues from that movie.
Okay.
Um,
I may have to
so
watch it this weekend.
yeah,
I'll
if you
rent it.
do,
I'll
you
rent
can
it.
tell me I'm wrong, or if you do, you can tell me I'm right.
No,
So
no,
just
no.
let me know, okay? All right, so we are going to, at this point in time, get into the spoiler section of our review. If you have not seen the movie, now's your time. Are you ready?
Yep.
Go.
Go.
Ready.
All right, that should be enough time. All right, so you're here, I don't know if you guys saw what Rachel said about this. She's talking about House of Flying Daggers. And yes, it is. It's amazing. It's a beautiful love story. It's a fantastic film. So, ladies, you both said in your own
Mhm.
way that you love the story, you love the visuals. You
Mhm.
didn't feel like it was a Marvel film.
Right.
Now's your platform. Tell me about it.
I don't know if it's because this one did focus so much on family, and I don't feel like we really have delved so deeply into the family aspect of a lot of the Marvel characters. And then for somebody like me, who, again, sounding like a broken record, especially for somebody like me who hasn't, had the best relationship with their dad, I can kind of, relate to that aspect of it. And as always, anytime I can relate to a certain aspect of a movie, that just makes me like it even more, because now I feel an absolute connection. And also, it is definitely one of the few Marvel movies, aside from Endgame, where I found myself crying, and not just because of the story, but believe it or not, just the visual act. Because I'm a very visually driven person. So to me, the movie was so beautiful. The colors were so gorgeous. And especially just getting to the end, I don't know, this movie really struck a chord with me. So I can't explain it. When it
I
draws that much emotion out of me, then that's all I need.
What about you, Zori?
Well, I also, my dad and I never had the best relationship, and so I could definitely relate to the conflict within the family. I felt like this movie gave every character a time to shine
Mm-hmm.
in their own unique way. And I felt like we weren't focused on a threat to the world or New York City or anything
Yeah.
like that. It was just this quiet, and I say quiet because to me it kind of felt that way, bubble of Shang-Chi
Mm-hmm.
and how he came to be who he is and how everybody else around him, affected who he became. And I just love that. And I
Yeah.
just feel like, well, yes, it had some humor that I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it had great action. To me, the action to me was unique, not so much the Marvel action we're used to seeing.
Right.
I loved the fights. I loved all of it. And then the tallow part, to me, that was the most gorgeous thing I think I've seen in a long time for Marvel.
I'll agree with that wholeheartedly. I will say this, that I love the fact that it was grounded
Mm-hmm.
for 3/4 of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the last act it didn't feel like a Marvel movie until the last act. So we'll leave that.
It was an
alone
epic
for-
scale.
I'll agree with you on that.
Okay.
Yep.
I loved how grounded this movie was. I loved the fact that there was very little. Okay, there was a lot of over the top fighting fantasy style, but it wasn't the Marvel fantasy style. It wasn't
Right.
like something you'd see if it was Wanda doing that type of thing.
No,
right?
no.
Ambassador Wings in. Hello, sir. Nice for you to join us.
Oh.
We appreciate it very much. Solid story, and of course, some great kung fu action. That's where you missed my dissertation on the kung fu wuxia just a few moments ago.
Yes, tower fight.
I almost wore my kung fu hat tonight instead of my Star Wars hat. So
that skyscraper scaffolding fight, yeah,
fantastic.
I was sweating during that entire. I have a very huge fear of heights. And when Aquafina was hanging off from the bamboo,
I was
my God, my hands are sweating.
Now.
My hands are sweating already thinking about it. Oh my God, I thought I was going to die.
So let me touch on that for just a second. Aquafina plays the exact same character in every movie she's in. She literally is just playing herself, which is okay.
Yeah.
When I heard she was going to be in this, there was one of those things for me that I was like, I don't know, right?
For me, I like her. So
she did great.
I was looking for it. She was great. She was wonderful.
I'm not really familiar with who she was, and I was like, oh, I like it.
I think that she.
But I understand what Alan's saying, because a lot of people were saying the same thing. They're like,
And that's funny. I had the opposite experience. I saw it twice, and both times my auditoriums were erupting every time she opened her mouth. But the times where she needed to be serious, she was great.
Yes. And that was my point, was that before I saw it, I was like, really?
Right.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, perfect, because she was reeled in enough to not be
right.
Annoying. Yeah. Rachel, kind of like the bottled water. Yeah.
Yes, Josh, she was not a damsel in distress at all, but she also wasn't overly done. She also wasn't overly like, oh, she wasn't like that.
Exactly. And that's where I was going to say is that it was definitely not, as Josh is pointing out here, it's definitely not the damsel in distress. And it wasn't a, I am woman, hear me roar. She just was. It was part of the story, and it was fantastic. And when she did the driving section, right? And he's holding on for dear life. I was loving it. I was like, okay, they're going to be using the fact that she can control the vehicle this way. And it paid off in the bus scene. It paid very well.
Yes, it did.
So,
and I loved how she wasn't phased. I mean, she was.
No.
But she
was on board for everything.
We'll handle this later, Sean. We're
handling
this later.
I'm getting a
She-
plane
yeah.
ticket. I don't care. I'm coming with you. Screw you. She didn't even care. Explain
was
on the
a
plane. Don't worry
loyal
about it.
friend.
Yeah.
A loyal
she
friend. A
was.
very loyal friend. I loved it.
All right, here it comes.
Uh-oh.
There is
All right.
no way on the face of this planet, knowing
Mhm.
what he knew about his father, that he would have allowed her to go with him. He loved her too much.
I
That was the
know.
one part of the story that made me go, I understood it because they needed her, right?
Yeah, and I can't
As
take that part too
as
seriously.
close as they were,
Right.
knowing what he knows about his dad, there
Yeah.
is absolutely no way he wouldn't have even told her. He'd have just bolted.
He would just, yeah. I agree. But
Uh,
as always, you got to suspend your disbelief. That's just, the way it is.
Yeah, I can agree with that real life perspective. I can.
Yeah, no,
I-
for sure.
But it's made it seem like he met her when they were fairly young. Like he was a teenager, I think, when he had, left.
when he left his when he ran from his dad and came to the U.S., that's when
It's like they met right
that's
away.
when they met.
And I sensed that she had always been a very formidable presence in his life, in a sense. Like she did, and she had established herself like she wasn't taking no shit. She wasn't taking his shit. And she's like, I'm going. I don't care what you say. I'm going.
Yeah. And had he just left, she would have bought a ticket and went right behind him anyway.
She would have gone too. She
would have chased him no matter what. It wouldn't have mattered.
And you know what? I never really thought of it that way, Sith. Josh. See, you were the first one in the chat. Josh won.
Yep.
That's what we'll do from now on. Whoever gets here first.
Right. He knows that there was no way to stop her. Absolutely no way to stop her.
No.
All right, so he says he thinks the actual power broker will be revealed to be Dr. Doom later. Okay, so there are theories on that floating around. I tell you what, do me a favor, Josh, hold on to that thought. When we get towards the end tonight, we'll delve into Dr. Doom a little bit more because I am so ready.
Yeah, everyone's really clamoring for him, huh?
Yeah. Do you know a lot about Doom?
No, I have to read.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'll make a note to myself. I'll do it right now to send you a link to kind of let you kind of watch some videos that explain a little bit about who he is.
There's nothing I can read. I'm a reader.
Well, you can.
I love to read.
You can absolutely, but
Google is your friend. Google is.
Yeah, no, I know,
okay.
I know.
So you guys know I like to call out people on the internet. There's a guy on the internet, and I wish I had his link and his information. I would have been a good night to share it. He does like in-depth character and comic string reviews.
Okay.
And if you don't know who Doom is, you watch like a 20-minute video, just listen to it while you're working, you're going to know who Doom is. He breaks it down beautifully. Okay.
Yeah, I like that stuff too. I love when people break down characters like that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and he knows his stuff. He knows, and he's got a deeper voice than I do. He can soothe you to sleep, I'm sure. Anyway, Sharon Carter has been established as the power broker. Yes, kind of. Don't let's hold on to this scenario. We'll talk about it towards the end. So that all being said, what did you think about? And I'm curious about what the chat thought about the use of Abomination in this film. Or do you even know who I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. In the ring with Wong.
Yeah. Okay.
The evil looking Hulk.
Yeah.
That is Abomination.
Okay. See, that's something I didn't know. Thank you.
Me neither.
Okay. And Abomination is like a Hulk style arch enemy. He's one of the few people that can stand toe to toe with the Hulk until the Hulk goes, planet killer. And yes, you are Ambassadorial Wing. Thank you so much. This is the channel. Comics Explained. Guys, great.
Yep. Okay.
Great.
Okay. Thank you.
Josh says, Care Bear says it was pointless. Okay. I'm going to agree with you, Josh. It was, but I think that was how, how, okay, first of all, Marvel's really good about using these little Easter eggs for future things.
Yeah.
One, it's what brought Wong into the picture. Therefore, Wong could be part of the post credit. That was so important. Okay. And I don't know what you're up to, Chantal, but okay.
What? I didn't do anything.
I didn't. She was like,
I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever. I'm reading it, Miss Gonzalez.
I didn't do anything.
It's not pointless.
No.
All I know is that seeing Wong, I figured when I saw Wong, I'm like, okay, we're gonna see Wong more. We're gonna see more of Wong, and then I saw Fin Face dude because that's what he looked for.
I have never heard so much excitement for a minuscule,
like,
not minuscule character, but you know what I mean. Oh my god! Twice my theater just was like clapping, literally cheering when they saw Wong. It was really great. It was really emotional, honestly, because I was, oh, everyone loves these characters so much. What a wonderful thing.
It was.
I know.
Great.
I love it.
Josh Irwin said that the way they brought him in established him as a C-tier villain. The problem is he was working with Wong in order to make, whatever it was, money or to establish whatever the prize was.
Right.
But I think he's going to be a bigger part later in the universe. I could be wrong, but I have that.
I think since they showed him, and he's obviously I didn't know. I enjoyed seeing him, and I didn't even know who he was. I figured, but if we saw him once and he's with Wong, we're gonna see him again.
There's a purpose.
Because that's Marvel, period. That's just Marvel.
Marvel doesn't do anything by accident.
So Ambassador, I see it too. Ambassadorial Wing says Wong is becoming a fan favorite. I agree.
Yes.
I love him.
I love the guy.
The actor is great. He's so funny.
Can you see Wong and Katie teaming up a little bit and doing what they do?
That would be great.
I think I could see them together.
Because I feel like Wong is also very innocent. So some of the things that he discovers sometimes I don't know. He's really funny.
I'll give you that because he does have that. I grew up inside a monastery.
Yeah, so he's got a childlike quality. I don't know how to.
That's a good way to put it. Very childlike. I love that. That's a very good way to put it. So the tower scene. What about the bus scene as far as the fighting was concerned?
That was my favorite scene. I felt like kicking ass after that scene. Let me tell you, I've never had a movie get me so amped up. I really just wanted to learn how to fight after this movie.
The dude with the phone that was I just put a martial arts as a kid, and so I'm going to be great. So I'm like, sit your ass down. You ain't doing nothing.
What I was thinking?
That's a great comment on our culture. Everything's got to be really viral.
It was.
That would have been me. That'd have been me going. That'd have been me going. Hey, hello, press play audience.
Check it out.
And I would have absolutely been recording that crap.
And then when the Blade dude came out, he's like, my bad.
It's all good.
My bad.
Josh, I agree. The close quarter fight choreography throughout the movie, anytime where they got in real close, and I'm not going to say that. Let me rephrase that. Up until the fourth act, every time they got, or the third act, every time they were in close, oh my God, it was great. And I agree with you on this one, Escape Pod. It was laugh out loud theater, laughing out loud. A moment.
This movie was really funny, honestly.
And I'm sorry, the adjusting the jacket whenever he's like, and I'm like, okay, I love that. Okay, that's some swag right there. And then I've just got some Jackie Chan vibes too. I really did.
Yep.
I loved it. I got Jackie Chan vibes with using what's around you to your advantage when you're fighting somebody and all like that. Loved it.
A very good martial arts fight scene that you can actually see, just this particular fight scene on YouTube, is the master Jet Li, and he's using,
I love him too.
He uses a 3 staff against a Japanese katana, and it's beautiful because halfway through the fight they wind up with the other person's weapon. So awesome. It reminds me a lot of some of the stuff that we saw in this, right? I think that they did a great job paying homage to the martial arts world.
I think it's very good. what Ambassadorial Wing just said.
Let's see here.
Yeah, that's the impression I got.
Yeah,
and I said Chantal, and I said
that was what I said. I
sentient.
said I think that's what's triggering all this.
I
and
think
they're older than the
sentient,
rings.
too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw something else at you, Ambassadorial. When this first came out, we first got the trailers. Everyone was complaining that the rings were bracelets, right?
Yeah, different from the
get over
comics.
that already. Can you just get over that already?
But hold on a second. What if they are rings? What if whoever made them is large enough for them to be rings, but because of our size, they fit the arm?
And even if they're not, like, people need to really like.
Well,
I'm sorry. It's just I'm sorry. Some of the things that people harp on, it just really.
Oh, I agree.
It just really annoys me. No. I understand. I get where you're coming from. I get it, but at the same point, I'm also like, and if they're not, that's okay. I'm sorry that they're bangles.
I did some
reading. The shape of a ring. I'm sorry, it's not.
I know.
That technical.
I did some reading about the rings, like what they were originally in the comics, and so what I got to thinking was, the rings in the comics each have their own power, and they seem to be very sentient with each other. Which when I watched the movies twice, I felt like the rings are sentient in the sense that I feel like they reflect the inner character of the person using them.
Right.
Because they're very different with his dad than they are with him. And when his mother manipulated them too in the very beginning scene in Talo, I just feel like they're different depending on who's wearing them. Or that's what Marvel's doing with it, maybe.
I think that it's actually not that they react differently or what have you. I think it's just the intent of the user.
Right.
Because each ring or bangle, each ring has a different power, a different element power. And when you use them together, then you can do tremendous things with them. It's almost like Infinity Stone style. Once they're together, there's not a whole lot that can stop them. So it
I know what you're talking about, Josh, with the bangles. I know what you.
Wait a minute. This one right here.
Oh Jesus!
Walk like an Egyptian.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now I love that song. It's a good sing along one.
Well, all I can tell you is this. Okay,
I was waiting to see if somebody would make that joke, and of course, it had to be cinnamon roll.
Of course, my door.
Josh, I was a teenager when that song came out, so to see Susanna Hoff in that outfit, I was happy to watch that video all day long. He'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so where were we? I just got totally. I told you at the beginning.
It went off the rails. We had a little bit
of this show.
It's funny. I heard someone say, not only do we get off the rail, but I believe our rails are just painted in the dirt. There is no rail.
Can we talk about Trevor and Morris?
Oh my God, please.
Talk about what you want. It's your show.
Can they make a plush Morris, first of all?
Oh, we are already advocating.
Disney, make that happen, because I want to
plush Morris.
I fell in love with Morris the moment it came out.
Trevor in this movie, I loved what he did. I just thought everything he did just lent a little bit more to it. And when they're driving through the forest and he's just like left, right? He's so calm and everybody's like, oh God, we're going to freaking die, and it's just like the comedy, the little bit of comedy he lent, and just the play dead scene. I mean, I just loved him and Morris together.
You know what's amazing to me? Seeing these actors in these movies. This is somebody who won an Oscar for playing Gandhi. And he's in a fucking Marvel movie. I can't.
He's got Sir in front of his name.
It's amazing. I love it.
Well, I think it's because they're starting to realize that the writing is actually there and that they
Mhm.
can take, and I'm sure that when his role basically switched to
Hmm.
this movie, that they allowed him leeway to figure
Yeah,
out where he needed to be in the scene.
I can
Had
see
to.
that.
Mhm.
I can
And
see that.
Josh Irwin called it perfect here. You
Oh
could
yeah,
tell he was having
Oh, he's
fun.
having a
a
great time.
blast. He
I mean,
stole
come
every
on.
scene he was in.
He did.
I love
He was
this.
Acting
great.
kind
He
of
was
like
so
he's kind
funny.
of out there, but at the same time, he knows what's going on.
Uh
Like he
huh.
nailed like his relationship with Morris. I am but
Hmm.
the conduit for this being, and then he said you could go now. And
Yeah.
it's
I'm
true.
sorry. The whole Planet of the Apes thing, that was just my favorite. When he was talking about being an actor and
Yes.
how, wow, those monkeys are such great actors. they were they were acting
They
riding a
were
horse. I'm like,
acting
oh
like they
my
were riding
god.
on it. It was so good.
I still can't get my head around it, and they're all looking at him like, and he's like, I just thought it was great.
He's such a simpleton.
He did.
Josh Irwin's right, like Kate Blanchett in Thor 3, you know.
Mhm.
Oh man.
They've
Mhm.
got a lot of
Yeah,
big name people that are coming on. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. They're bringing in
it's
Come
good
on.
people.
Robert Redford. What the hell? Michael
who would have
Douglas. I mean, Anthony Hopkins. I mean, the list goes on. It's great. I mean,
yes,
Right?
it's
Michael
it's
Douglas and
really
Ant-Man. Come
insane
on.
to me.
yes, it is. So let's get to the part of the movie where I started to lose a little bit. This, okay?
Okay.
Um, we agree. Act 1, Act 2 was wonderful. Set up well, acted well, funny where it needed to be. Action was great where it needed to be. Story was told in a very fine fashion. It was easy to follow,
Hmm.
but it wasn't like putting you to sleep. And
Right.
then you get to Act 3, and you get to the wonderful world of Tao. It
Mhm.
was beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh God, so beautiful.
It
Hmm.
was beautiful. And another scene, ambassadorial wing, back me up. Another scene where it immediately took me back to all those wonderful period piece kung fu films that I used to love, the old Jet Li films and Once Upon a Time in China and things like that. I mean, immediately took me back to that because Michelle Yeoh,
I love her.
I love
I've
her.
loved her in everything she's ever been in. By the
I
way, she's in Crouching Tiger, General Shinobi.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, didn't know if you knew
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I've been watching her back since one of her early films, which was called Wing Chun, and
Hmm.
I've loved her in everything. She was great in the Bond film. I mean, she is just great. She just
Yeah.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a little background on Michelle Yeoh that you all may not know. Jackie Chan, someone mentioned him earlier.
Hmm.
Jackie Chan, Samuel Hyun, and Michelle Yeoh all went to the same Peking Opera
Hmm.
as children, which is where they learn their fight choreography and dance and so forth. So that should tell you that's there's actually a movie, and I'll look it up and send it to you if you guys want to watch it. But it talks about the early days that they went through in that Peking Opera House and how they were beat until they were
I would watch that.
and until
Mm-hmm.
they
Send
performed
it my
correctly.
way.
It's hard, it's rough, and it was written, directed, and performed by Samuel Hyun, who was actually one of the guys who was there. So.
Wow.
Um,
Yes, the dragon.
The
Yes, the dragon
dragon.
was
Oh.
beautiful.
I'm gonna hold off on the dragon for a few minutes. I knew there was going to be a dragon in this film as soon as I
Hmm.
saw that it was Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm glad they didn't name him what they named him in the original because that would have been really really bad. If you guys don't
Oh.
know,
No, I don't.
it was Fing Fing Foom.
Oh God, no, no.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
um, they went a
Smart
different
move.
route with it. Oh, definitely. I mean, that was in comics when a point in time when things weren't always
Yeah.
nice to other
Hmm.
cultures.
Yeah.
We'll
I
just
get
leave it
it.
at that.
Yeah.
Um, this is where there were a couple of minor issues to me, and I'm saying they were minor that
Okay.
kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Okay. Aquafina's character had a bow in her hand for about 3 hours, and she made the kill shot. that was a little too much.
But expected.
Exactly.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Okay. And didn't she? Okay. And I'm gonna say number 2. Didn't she not know Chinese? Could she not speak Chinese?
I noticed that it seemed like she seemed to suddenly understand
Understand what
I
they
get
were
where you're,
saying.
yeah, I
on
get where you're
Talo.
going.
Yeah. So I would
don't know
say
how
those
much.
are 2 things. You know. Yeah.
Plot
Yeah.
holes, I
So
guess. She was a natural.
She was a natural.
Josh, I like this. Josh Irwin made a point, and I didn't really think this way. It did feel like luck. It kind of felt like luck. I'll take okay, and looking at it that way, it makes me feel better about it. Okay. So
is this Deadpool 2 now? Is she Domino? Is this Deadpool 2? She's lucky.
I love Domino.
I know. I love her too.
She's
I'm not saying that as an insult. Believe me.
She lived in a Chinese-speaking household, but it seemed to me she was telling everyone, guys who were in America speak English, but I do believe that she knew how to speak it. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe she was just trying to say, hey,
but she told
leave me alone.
She told Fight Club dude that, oh, my Chinese isn't that good. Fight Club dude. I call him that,
And then he said, it's okay, I speak ABC, which is the funniest shit I've ever heard. That is the funniest line I've ever heard. Oh my God. It took me by surprise when I heard that.
I agree. I do like the way, and there's a couple of people I've seen cast some theories on this, so I'm going to throw some stuff.
Could be a defense.
Okay.
Could be.
So I love the way the demon was calling out to the father in the mother's voice.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, that's different. Okay.
That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
That is deep. Here's the one I'm going to tell you. He's interdimensional. Lao was interdimensional because Michelle Yeoh, I'm paraphrasing here, said in your universe a couple times. Okay. So for those of you who are wondering when the multiverse came in, ta-da, it's already here. Secondly, what if this same demon was calling out to Wanda in the voice of her children at the end of WandaVision and trying to get her to come let him out?
Oh,
that's interesting.
That's a good one. That's very interesting.
I don't think that's the case, but it makes you kind of think, doesn't it?
It does. It's one of those things where you can ponder. Yep.
Especially because I already feel like everything that was happening in Wanda and Loki was kind of happening at the same time. I mean, everything is kind of connecting at this point. So,
okay. So
it's been a trippy phase.
We're going to take a second here and all give ambassadorial wing the shamey finger.
Ooh, I like Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2 was almost as good as the first one.
You need to check it out.
You really do, man.
It's hard to follow.
I was conflicted when I saw it the first time, but now after having watched it a couple times after that, I have definitely changed my mind. I love it. It's very funny.
I'm going to tell you, you need to watch it. It is fantastic. If not for anything else, because I know you're a comic fan, but the formation of X Factor and what happens during that whole scene makes the whole movie worth watching. It is so flippin' funny.
Jax is getting pissed.
Why?
Because he wants to leave the room.
Bring him up. Let him say hi to everybody.
Jackson, you want to come up for a second and say hi to everybody? Continue. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll bring him up.
Okay. All right, Zori. So when we're in the third act, did you feel that they may have gone a little overboard?
Jesus. Okay. So if you want to talk practicality, in a sense, to me, yes, you can always say that.
Yes.
But I felt like throughout the whole movie, they had seeded this, like they had given us the Brent hijack. He's so stinking
Look,
cute.
you're on TV. Look, you're on TV.
He's
baby.
like, he's like,
Mommy, please just let me go. For the love of God.
I felt like they had sown the breadcrumbs, like they had dropped the breadcrumbs along the way. And by the time I got there, I knew we were going to come down to an epic fight of some kind. I had no idea.
Right.
And so yeah, so you can say, okay, wow, and it's CGI the hell out of it. I mean, of course it is. I mean, it is. But I would say I agree that that's the part of the Marvel that came in, and I'm okay with it because I know we're gonna get that at some point. I felt like the movie, basically, most of the movie didn't really rely on that so much, and so when we got to that final part, I was all right with it. But I can agree, yes, it was CGI the hell out of it in the end. Yeah.
It was a big sky beam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
But I love the animals and the creatures. So I guess when we looking at it, I felt like, oh God, I love the like lions that look like the dragons. I love the foxes with the more tails.
Yes.
I love the dragon. I love the serpentine like dragon. I love it. I did.
Beautiful.
I loved all of it.
The dragon actually made me cry. That's actually what made me cry because it was so pretty.
You ready for this? Mars says,
yes.
Sweet hairy baby.
Where are you going?
All right. Escape pod. Too much CGI at the end. Some practical makes it feel more real. This is where I get to go on my little tirade. Remember, I told you I was going to at the beginning. I was okay with all the CGI. I was okay with the CGI animals, like we were talking about, the foo dogs, all that. I was okay with. I loved the dragon. I loved the look of the soul suckers. I loved the big demon. I loved all of that. But when it came to the final fight between father and son, they should have, at least for part, if not more than just half of the fight, should have been more grounded like the beginning. I think myself, I would have enjoyed it more had Shang-Chi addressed his father and said, I know that you are all powerful with those rings.
Right.
Fight me without them. And had Shang-Chi then wore him down to the point that his dad had to use the rings to defeat him, and then Shang-Chi took them from him, it would have been a bigger emotional payoff. Versus I'm fighting on the ground with everything, and then all of a sudden it's a big CGI Marvel CGI fight with electrical blue whatever's everywhere. But that's just me. Now I say all that to say this: I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. But had they grounded it more, and then threw the CGI in, it would have been a much bigger payoff. Belzora Hollow, she hasn't seen the movie yet. I have no actual commentary today, but I will pop up here and
She's
there.
Too funny.
It's a gig.
Support Belzora. She's too funny.
She's awesome.
So sweet.
I still felt the conflict within Shang-Chi and his anger towards his father. I feel like he had resentment about those rings. Like when he said, you know, you chose those damn rings over us when we needed you. You know, we needed you. And I cried. I was crying.
It was a very Skywalker moment.
It was.
And my son, let me throw this in here.
Yeah.
My 15-year-old son saw with me the second time. My 15-year-old son, well, now he's 15-year-olds today.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to my baby. He doesn't cry at movies, okay? He's too cool for that, okay? He's at that age.
I cried at the drop of a hat.
But he was sitting next to me sniffling and wiping and crying. He's like, oh, God, Mom, this is just hitting me. And I'm like, yeah, baby's hitting me too. And to get that kind of emotional response from him, it's like, whoa, okay. I mean, all that aside, like CGI, it still hit it to me in the emotional feels, despite all that.
Because again, I think it's a very basic thing that people can relate to. I mean, I don't know about you, but yes, up to a certain point, I very much disliked the father. But at the same point, I also couldn't find myself to really hate him. I actually felt very bad for him. He felt more anti-villain. He was so in love with her. I understand that. I get the psychology behind that. So I felt bad for him. So when it got to the end and you see him basically sacrifice himself for his son, it was a great moment.
It was a horrible
sad moment.
He was a horrible human being
Yeah, he
that was
was.
redeemed by love.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, you figure
He
he
tried to
spent
put it
1,000
aside.
years
Yeah.
Right.
living a life of a conqueror. And I mean, at that long living, because the rings give you that power, you lose a lot of your humanity. I don't know how much he had to begin with, though, to be fair.
All I will
It didn't
say
seem
is
like he had
this.
much, honestly.
No, I don't think so. No.
All I will personally say is this. I don't know who that actress was that played his wife / their mother.
Gorgeous.
Oh my God! If I weren't
She's
married,
Fauchin.
Something, yeah. Oh,
yeah,
gorgeous.
She was beautiful.
That fight scene was between the two of them was so romantic.
That wushu and then that.
The movie's very romantic. Very.
It
I'm going to tell you right
it's a
now,
beautiful movie.
That's the scene
Epic.
that made me think of House of Flying Daggers. You'll understand when you watch it. Trust me.
I'm definitely going to watch it this weekend. I promise you.
And then when the aunt Michelle Yao was teaching Shang-Chi, and you saw that same kind of dance, then you see him do it again with his dad. You see him finally get it when he's fighting and I'm like, oh God, I just loved.
It was a dance. It was beautiful.
I loved it. It was so beautiful.
Fluid.
Yes.
It was.
It was done well.
To me, it was very Tai Chi looking.
Thank you, Rachel.
Very spiritual.
Happy birthday,
which I love. Which I
yes, I did. And I felt like his death was pretty much okay. He couldn't live without his wife. I'm sorry. He just couldn't. Like he lived so long the way he had
to happen. Yeah, that had to happen.
And he didn't want to go on without her.
It was very poetic.
I know he loved his kids, even in the most misguided way. I still say, and I don't know, I still think he loved her more than he loved them, though.
I agree with that.
And that's the way it should be.
Yeah, like he loved her more than he loved them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I have a story about that. I'm not gonna mention names, but I had someone tell me once that they were eating dinner with their mother. Okay, and said my mom told me that that she loved my father more than she loved us as her kids, right? And she's like,
y'all are a pain in the ass.
No, she goes, I was dumbfounded. How can that be? Blah, blah, blah. And she said, it's really simple. I chose him.
Right, of course.
I chose him. I chose, and it's funny because now my wife and I have had that same conversation that the love for your children, the love for your grandchildren is different than the love for your spouse.
Of course.
But your spouse has to come first. And this is where I was saying earlier that I had a really hard time not liking him, because once he gave up the rings, he knew he was eventually going to die, but he was okay with it because he was with the woman who taught him how to love, right? And like you guys said, it wouldn't have mattered. Once he got there and found out that she was not coming back, he had no reason to live.
No, she had become his whole world. She had become his whole world. And
and love will make you do crazy things.
Yes, it will. He did. It's funny that, and we haven't talked near enough about the sister because she's fabulous. I think it's really weird how he says that she reminded him more of her mother, but in my opinion, it was Shang-Chi that was so much more like his mother.
Yeah, I would venture to say the sister is more like the dad.
Yes.
Especially at the end.
Yeah.
Especially
and I know that's still a little ambiguous. Like, how is she going to use this?
Yeah, a lot of people are still wondering, is she...
Auntie kind of really wanted to give her voice. Like, she's like, you've hidden in the shadows too long.
Right.
So
we don't care about gender here. Like, you can train with the guys. No one cares.
Okay.
Yep.
So the whole part of the story that talked about her watching the other martial artists and teaching herself. So I'm going to tell you where that came from.
Where?
Wing Chun. Wing Chun Kung Fu, which was the system that Bruce Lee studied in China before he came to America. He called it Jun Fan. Kung Fu when he came here, which was his Asian name, and he didn't teach a portion of it to Anglo because he said, "Why am I going to teach someone bigger and stronger than me how to beat me up?" But it is rumored that at one point in time, one of the stories behind that is where Wing Chun come from was that a female was seeking asylum and wanting to learn, and the abbots and monks would not teach her. So she made her way up into the mountains where she could see into the compound to watch them doing their daily training. And she took what worked best for her at her strength and weight and size and applied that to one martial art. So it was a little combination of everything. And then she went back and challenged them to a fight.
That's badass.
And won. And again, this is not true fact. This is part of the legend, part of the story.
Right.
And said, and she named the system Wing Chun after her niece. And it's reported that neither of them were ever defeated in a fight.
It's very interesting.
Wing Chun was actually taught by Shaolin to the local populace to help beat the much larger Manchurians who were invading the area because it's a system that can be learned quickly. So when I saw all these little tidbits in the movie, and I was going, okay, I know where they pulled that from, and I know where they pulled that from, and I know where they pulled that from, and it made me just so happy. I was sitting there just like, wait a minute, what was I doing, Chantal?
Clapping.
I know,
but it shows obviously they had such a major respect for that genre to take the time to go ahead and pull from all those things and throw it in there, and know that people who really do love that genre are going to appreciate it. Someone like you. But now I have the fun of going back and watching these movies that I've never seen before, and now I get to go ahead and compare and pick up on it.
Okay,
so it's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. How, I don't know if you two got this or not. Okay, but when I was watching it, I was like, oh, when the main demon comes up, right, and they're filling him, they're bringing the souls.
Yes.
Did you notice the colors that he started to glow?
Yes.
I immediately went Dormammu.
yes I thought the same thing.
I immediately said that in my head.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I was
that
like,
is so funny. I thought the exact same thing.
And I also said to myself, well, that looks like the magic of a certain witch too. So maybe that power all comes from a certain dimension. That's the reason for that color.
I still think Agatha is going to play a much bigger role than people think, because she's not being talked about enough, in my personal opinion.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Yes.
I will say this.
I think everyone's looking this way, and I think you need to look that way.
Yeah, I hope so, because I loved her character. She's hilarious,
and I've loved that actress for a very long time, because I've known about Catherine Hahn for a long time, and it's amazing that only now she's gaining such popularity. But I was so thrilled when I saw she was cast.
Zori, my co-host Stefan, who's only here about every other week with me, he said to me, he goes, "Oh, you need to check this out, and this out, and this out. They all have Catherine in it, and you're gonna love her." And everything I've seen her in, I've been like, "Oh, I like her a lot. She's hilarious. She's good.
Yeah.
She's just her comedic timing is just so spot on, just so spot on." And that little grin that she's got just makes you go, yeah, she's so up to something.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, overall, on a scale from okay, so the way I don't normally make you guys do this star rating thing, but the way I look at it is 1 star is I'm angry, and that's an hour and a half of my life I'll never get back. Right?
Okay.
5 stars is, this is a movie is so good that it actually goes beyond what anyone would expect. If it's, it goes beyond the genre, so to speak. It breaks the boundaries. 3 is right in the middle. It's what I expect. Everything's great. Where would you guys rate this? Because I give this, if it would have had a grounded final fight scene, I would have went higher. But I give it 4 4 soul-sucking demons out of 5.
You
I'm
go
gonna
first.
give it a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5.
You say it transcends the genre.
I am going to give it a 5. I have watched every single Marvel movie and I have not felt so impacted by a Marvel movie. So that's why.
Red 5.
Hey, Red 5.
Well, I'm okay.
Let me tell you, buddy, you're moving to the
Chantal.
top of the murder
I
list.
know,
so
right?
Keep going.
He's putting
Keep
on
going.
there.
You're moving that up that ladder. Real
that comment.
I agree with Chantel. I'm going to give it a 5 because of how it made me feel.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I connected to it. And how I felt when I walked away and how I still feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that I look shocked, because there's maybe only 4 movies that I can think of right now that I would give a 5 to.
Right.
So when I say 4.5, which is where I would have been had they grounded it, that's saying a lot.
But Marvel movies or movies in general?
In general.
Oh, in general, no. I mean, obviously, no. I mean, of Marvel movies, this is like pretty close to the top for me.
Okay. Now that I'll
in general, no. Oh God, no. There's like 1,000 other movies that I would put in front of this one. I mean,
no,
a classic movie
you
person.
Just put this in the same category as Psycho.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I'm a classic movie person, so I would never. But in terms of Marvel movies, I put this one very high.
I will say this, and in as far as superhero movies, not just Marvel, this one to me is probably in the top 5. That's big.
I can agree with that. I love this. I can't wait to see more of what he's going to do. And the rings and finding out more about the rings.
I cannot wait to see him as part of the upcoming Avenger team. I think he's going to be fantastic.
Oh, and I don't know, what your particular tastes in movies are. I mean, in music, but I even loved this movie down to the soundtrack. And I don't just mean like the score. Like, I loved all of the hip hop kind of mixed with an Asian influence. Like the soundtrack is really, really great. Really, really great.
Belzora, the answer to your question is no.
No.
The Crow is not. The Crow is that's
like a masterpiece.
That's like
no, I love The Crow. That movie can't be touched.
That is a movie to me that
it should not be touched.
I said it better hell never be touched.
Oh, it's going to be.
It will be.
They're going to remake it. But
they already said that they were.
Yeah, I sat in the theater and literally cried through the whole credits.
Yeah.
Because I was so sad that Brandon Lee passed. I was so sad about it.
Such a horrible story.
Thank you, Red 5. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Red 5.
Thanks, Red 5.
If you get a chance, definitely check out the new intro tomorrow during the playback. You're going to like the way it looks. I'm very, very happy with it. So great seeing you.
Okay, Escape Pod, don't piss me off. Like, I'm so pissed off about this news. Like, you have no idea. I love Flight of the Navigator. I grew up with that movie. I love that movie. I don't know why this is happening. Please stop it. Enough with the rebooting.
Okay.
My thing with this, can we please just leave the stuff alone? Like, leave the old good stuff alone.
Enough.
I love we are Red 5. Explain, Josh Irwin, Jason Momoa. Explain, please.
The Crow with Jason Momoa? Is that what he's talking about?
I don't know. We're going. He'll.
I have a feeling that's what he means.
Okay.
I can see that, but I still just don't want that movie to be touched. But reboots, unfortunately, seem to be the future, so I don't.
Yeah, they can't.
Think we have a choice in the matter.
Dallas Bryce Howard is directing. Is that The Crow?
No, the Flight of the Navigator reboot.
Okay,
we got 2 different conversations going on at the same time. Don't worry, I'm keeping track.
I'm a little slow sometimes. You have to be careful. All right. I like her as a director, so I mean, if you've got to have someone to do it, she's not bad.
Oh,
So
it's fine. Whatever.
okay, so
Listen,
Josh
people want to
Irwin
watch
is
it, they can
saying
watch it.
Jason
I'm not going to watch
Momoa
it.
in the remake of The Crow.
Yeah, I
No,
don't even know
I
why
like
that's
Jason Momoa.
happening.
I mean,
No,
I'm
I do,
alright
I
with
do
him,
too.
but
But
no.
I don't know why this is happening.
You
What would you
can't-
say though if they do it frame by frame, and the only thing they're changing is the actual.
Then what's the point?
Well, because you can update the special effects to make it look better. Because there's some scenes
I don't believe in. Okay, I'm the kind of person that really truly believes that movies came out in a certain time period for a certain reason, and they should stay there because it's a time capsule to me.
Yeah.
You know, so when I hear things like, "Oh, let's make Mary Poppins 2 freaking 40, 50 years later, why are you doing that? You're
Didn't need
remaking The
to.
Crow. Why are you remaking The Exorcist?" I don't understand these remakes, and that's what I continue to say. Has the well run completely dry? I don't get these
Yep.
reboots. And even with TV, why is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reboot happening? Why is that happening?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't know that the well has run dry. I think they're just afraid to try anything new.
Well, then you're cowards. I mean, I'm sorry. Then
I mean, the
Because-
original.
what's the
Crow is
point? Making this stuff is all about being creative. So why are you limiting yourself like that? Oh, think outside the box.
Well, in mainstream Hollywood wants sit there and scratches their head and wants to complain about all these superhero movies and blah blah blah. It's because they have a well of backstory to pull from.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a second. Let me say that again. Disney, if you're listening, there is a well of backstories to pull from, even for Star Wars. It's there, even though you don't want to say it is. Okay. And us fans love what you're doing on shows. Love it. But when the movies are about the movies, there is a well of information there. You can pull from it. We won't care. I promise you. We'll back you up. We're going to pull our wallet out. We're going to pay for it. I'm telling you.
Yep.
So much more care is being afforded to Marvel that
Yes,
I don't
Marvel
understand.
is kicking their ass.
Well, I'm really
Why
hoping,
Star Wars has fallen to the wayside like it has.
I'm really hoping that the two that are handling the TV series are going to be taking care of the whole universe, which is way the story group is supposed to be set now. So let's. All right.
I know.
I got a fun story for everybody.
Oh, yay.
I want to change the subject.
Story time.
Fun story. So last weekend,
Uh-huh.
for those of you who don't know, I checked out of social media for pretty much the whole weekend. My wife and I went out of town for the weekend. We went to North Carolina. We were up in the mountains in a cabin. We were lucky enough that my son-in-law and grandson came with us, as well as their mom, my son-in-law's mother.
Mhm.
We had a wonderful weekend. Beautiful up there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Saturday afternoon, my wife had, and by the way, it was a complete surprise to my wife. She didn't know any of this was happening. I literally had to call her and say, "Hey, don't look at the bank account today," because I knew she'd see it and go, "What are you spending all this money on?" Anyway, she found.
What you doing?
She found a place for us all to go horseback riding. Well, of course, she can't, and the grandmother-in-law can't. So it was just my grandson, my son-in-law, and myself.
Mm-hmm.
So we're riding, and we're about halfway through the ride, and the guide is in front of me. I happen to be right behind the guide, and she kind of looks back at me and goes, "You might have one of those faces or something, but I really feel like I've seen you before. Have you ever been here?" And I was like, "No, never been here before." And and I said, "Now I do have a YouTube." And before I got it out of my mouth, she went, "Press play." And I was like,
That's awesome.
I literally was like,
That's
"Yeah,
awesome. That's great.
that's me." And she goes, "I've seen you in my news feed. I'm going to have to check you out sometime." I was like, "Well,
That
thank
is
you.
so
Absolutely."
funny.
It was
You
hilarious.
got
That's great.
celebrity
She literally went-
status.
she literally went,
Celebrity.
Oh
Guess
man,
what?
we're gonna need to get your autograph now before you become too
Yeah.
big.
I know, right?
Whatever. Josh Irwin has a really good point, and I didn't mean to skip over anybody, but Josh Irwin has a really good point. Movies like Aragon, they deserve remakes because the concept was good, the execution fell short.
I mean, if you want to go back to movies that completely bombed and try to wipe the slate clean, I guess I'm okay with that. But if you're
Josh
trying
Irwin,
to bank on something that was already super successful, you're not going to catch lightning in the bottle twice. So don't even try it.
the movie Kroll it needs a remake.
Oh
The
God.
movie Beastmaster needs a remake.
Yeah,
some
some
of
of them could
I love it
use
the way it
a
is.
remake treatment.
Yeah, that's
I
what
love
Buzz Earl was just saying.
Beastmaster.
I mean, look,
I love
something like
Beastmaster.
Dune. Look, something like Dune, that's a perfect example. You know, I'm sure a lot of people, it has more of a cult following now, but the David Lynch version from the 80s completely bombed. And now this new version of Dune, they're saying is, you know, the version that we do deserve. It got like a 30-minute standing ovation at freaking Venice Film Festival. So, you know, that's fine. But if it's something that's already hit the mark, don't touch it. Jackson, please be quiet. We're almost done. I promise.
I would not want to see a remake of Flash Gordon, even though if someone else was to redo it, not
Right.
remake it, but redo it, that would be
Right, I
cool.
got it.
Which is I think is a different, you know, because it's an old
I saw her comment. Yeah, I saw. She's so proud.
I'm married to
Oh,
a
such a
God,
good
no,
wife.
honey.
That's so cute. You guys are so cute.
Yeah, she kills me. She kills me. She put it in there twice to be sure that it got seen.
You're a
Yeah.
lucky man.
Oh no. Anyway, Mike Flanagan
know,
or
baby.
James
Hold
Wan
on.
would do a fabulous job with Darkness Falls. I agree with you. That sounds like a fun time. All right, so if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna take a couple minutes. We're gonna start. I know it's a little early, but we're gonna talk about October.
Ooh, it's never too
October
early
is
to talk about my favorite month.
my favorite holiday is October. I will tell you why. Christmas is so overblown. In the month of October, you never hear of two people fighting over a bag of candy in Walmart.
Yep.
Christmas, as much as it's a sacred holiday to me, I am at a point where I can't stand it. Halloween is fantastic. Well, the reason I say that is because
No,
of
I
what
understand. It's become very
become.
over commercialized. I get it.
Exactly.
so badly.
But I still love my tree.
I haven't put one up in years unless I absolutely have
Oh
to.
no, I can't.
I've become very grinchy about Christmas.
Oh wow, no, I can't bring
But
myself
that
to be
being
that
said,
way.
I love Halloween, and the reason I love Halloween is because seeing the kids light up, you know, the
Of
colors in the
course.
trees, the whole ball of wax. So October, we're going to do a fun little thing. We're going to do 4 weeks of horror leading up to Halloween.
Yeah.
We know that we have some things in the schedule. I'm not going to tell you what dates yet, but because we're going to figure everything out. But one thing we're going to cover is we're going to cover Halloween Kills. That'll probably be the same week it's released. We are going to cover an anthology night. We're going to do 2 anthology movies. We're going to do Trick or Treat, which was a great anthology, and we're also going to do the classic Creep Show. So if you have not seen Creep Show, you must.
Love it. I have the Creep Show like figure.
So the thing that you're thinking of
Crypt Keeper?
The Crypt Keeper.
No, I have the Creep Show.
No, Creep Show.
Okay. So have you seen
No,
Creep
I have
Show?
it.
Okay. Have you, Chantal?
So, okay, I'm very well aware of what it is. And like I said, I love to read. So I've read like the synopsis of Creep Show, and I'm very well aware, if I have my movie correct, that there is a story in that movie that involves bugs. So I can't watch that.
You can watch it, just don't watch the last story.
I can't.
Okay. Did you hear what I said? Just don't watch the last story.
That's my Jaws. That's my version of Jaws.
You should watch up to that point because you don't have to watch it. They're literally treated as separate ones.
Right, exactly. Right.
Leslie
I can't
Nelson's
take that
in it.
scene.
Ted Danson's in it. I mean, it's got a bunch of big name people in
I
it.
know.
Okay.
I love Ted Danson.
I loved it.
Oh,
it
I know.
was it was
Hey.
written it was written by Stephen King and directed by George Romero.
Yes.
And
I know.
it's
I know.
hilarious.
I know.
It's so
Believe
good.
me.
It's so good.
It's so
Josh, believe me,
campy.
I'm gonna
Even
reach
if
out
I
to you.
haven't seen some of these movies, I do so much reading
Yes.
all the. It's really insane. Like I may not have
It's-
seen it, but I'll know the trivia because
Okay,
that's
so
my
we
life.
know we've got those two. So I'm going to throw out some ideas. I'd
Yeah.
like to have press play streaming at gmail.com.
Okay.
No, press play stream. It's right across the list right now at
Okay.
gmail.com. I
Let's
want
play
ideas because here's what I'm going to do. I'm thinking seriously about a vampire versus werewolf night where I get two people who are vampire representatives, two people who are werewolf representatives, and I will be the moderator. Belzora says
Chantal,
she can't do bugs either.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm the guy, and I'm in the like this, and then the bugs come out. And I'm like,
No, I can't do it. I cannot do it. Jackson, don't give me any lip.
Oh, so anyway, and then the last one I think I might leave up to Stefan's recommendation. Do not write this down, ladies and gentlemen, because I am still debating on whether or not I can stomach doing.
Say it.
Go ahead.
You know you can say it.
I don't want to say it. Go ahead.
Hocus pocus.
Hocus pocus.
I love Hocus Pocus.
I know you do.
Hocus pocus.
I know you do. So what I'm going to have to do on that one, hey, what I might have to do on that one is get the channel going and go like this, and do my normal introduction, lay my speak, and walk off, and then just stick ahead and check on you guys every once in a while.
Oh, I love that movie. Although I am with you, I do not like Bette Midler, so don't worry.
Yeah, her.
We're on the same page with that one.
Can't do it.
I can't stand her ass.
Yeah, me neither.
Zori, did you hear my joke? Sarah Jessica Parker walks into a bar.
Mm-hmm.
The bartender says, "Why the long face?"
Oh God, you guys so terrible. Oh my God.
She got a horse face on her.
But
I know she does.
She may be the nicest person in the world. I don't know. I don't.
Well, she was in
that way.
That damn, I don't forget now. I can't. Sex in the City.
Listen,
the last thing I saw her in that I liked. The last thing I saw her in that I liked was Square Pegs.
Oh, that's a cute show.
Square Pegs.
It's a cute show.
Anyway, as I tell my wife all the time, look at my eyes. Don't look at my eyes. Anyway,
I love her. I'm sorry.
Once I get everything ironed out on who's doing what and when, I'll be contacting several of you and giving you your homework assignments if you wish to admit. If you should choose to accept it.
I accept.
And this video will self-destruct in
oh god,
about 5 seconds. All right, ladies, do you have anything else you'd like to say about Shang-Chi?
If you haven't seen it by now, please go see it. It's clearly hitting the mark with people because I have already read, and I love Clint Eastwood. I'm a huge Clint Eastwood fan. His new movie's coming out this weekend, but they're already predicting that Shang-Chi is probably still going to take the #1 spot. So please go out and see it. I'm watching it for a third time. It's been a long time since I've seen a movie that many times in the theater, so I think that's a big testament to this movie.
Yep.
I haven't watched a movie in a long time that hit me emotionally the way this one did, and I would say go watch it. Just give it a chance. Go watch it.
Use the tagline, Zori. Would you
press play?
Absolutely, or would you walk
press
away?
Play.
I would press play. I would smash
all day long.
I would smash that button
with a mallet.
All right, ladies. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. I've had an absolute blast with you guys tonight. I really have. It's been a fun.
Me too.
The chat
is
been
great.
Fantastic.
And Zori's the best.
Belzora, Josh,
the best.
Erwin, you're both going to be getting contacts from me about some things that are getting ready to come up. So
chat was good.
Be checking your DMs.
Thank you, chat.
Chat was great tonight.
Thanks, chat.
Always.
Escape Pod is always a great time to have you here. We
Rachel.
really appreciate you so much. Thank
you,
you, Rachel.
And Cinnamon rolls around somewhere. He's probably at work. So
yeah.
Josh 1 and Josh 2. They're
Thing 1,
they're
thing
like
2. Thank you.
they're like
The two
twins from
Joshes.
another mother.
Oh, we have a
Joshes.
spare at least.
So, all right, I'm putting you in the room. Hang around a minute.
All right.
I'm gonna tell you what, guys. I am so lucky to have met these wonderful people who come on the show week in, week out. I've always got people throwing their hand up and volunteering to come on. It's really a pleasure and an honor to yours truly. So I have to take a minute to say thank you very much because I really do appreciate it. That being said, I appreciate our chat. You guys have been great. I want to say, give out a special thank you to my wife, who absolutely positively backs me in everything I do. Babe, I love you. You're the world to me. You always have been, and you always will be. So, just wanted you to know that as well. So that being said, yeah, Shang-Chi. Definitely, if you're telling your friends at the bar whether or not you want to press play or not, you don't want to walk away from this one. Definitely press play. I enjoyed every minute of it. It was a lot of fun. Even if you're not a Marvel fan, I know a lot of people who aren't that absolutely love this movie as well. So, that being said, as we always say, you have a friend here at Press Play. So, always take time to grab a snack, grab your favorite drink, and press play. All right, guys, have a good night. Thank you.